Hi, I'm Clarissa from Maple Hill Farm Stand. Let me adjust this a little bit so you can see me. Okay. Hi, I'm Clarissa from Maple Hill Farm Stand. Today I'm going to show you how I do my winter sowing. I did some last year, and I think I just picked the wrong ones. Some of them just didn't germinate, some of them weren't super happy, some of them I didn't transplant soon enough. This year I'm going to do some red butterfly weed milkweed. This is from Pine Tree Garden Seeds, superseeds.com. I have 40 in this bag. I am not going to put all 40 in here. I err on the side of caution and assume that things won't germinate. Maybe that's not very confident in myself, but I'm probably going to put 10 in here. If there's not enough room or whatever, we transplant them into bigger containers if they are in a rush. Otherwise, we just put them outside, so it's not really that big of a deal if it's sowed pretty thickly. So, to get started, I know some people that put lids on theirs. I don't. It seems to do okay without it. And I am going to go ahead and take this milk carton and cut it right here, but I'm going to leave this handle attached. That just makes things easier when it comes time to open them up. There's something to grab onto, things like that. So I'm going to use my bigger kitchen scissors for this, and I just do a cut like that. So it's going to look like this, and there's still some water in it I'm going to dump out. I am doing this in my kitchen. I don't have a potting shed or greenhouse yet. My hope is that at some point I can get that. I know a lot of people use a lot of different things, so this needs holes in it so that there's drainage. I usually just take scissors and poke out. That way the drainage goes out. Don't poke in, otherwise nothing's going to drain out properly. Some people use, there's like little heat pens, things like that. The end of a glue gun without any glue in it, you can just poke a hole in it. I do use my longer shears, and I just put it in here like this against the bottom. Poke through, and I twist just to make it a little more open. You are going to want to do a couple of these. You really don't want to end up with a water collection issue and having all your seeds rot. Sometimes it just cuts like that too, and I call that fine. If I try to use both, it doesn't really do anything, so make sure that you're not sitting there twisting for nothing. This one is actually pretty thin. Taking a lot of power to go through. So I've cut my slits, and I'm gonna rotate, that way all the plastic is pointed out and down so it drains appropriately. You really don't want stuff to get backed up in here. Like I said, it would suck to have seeds got. So those are decent sized holes. I can add one more in here. One hole is pretty big, but I really don't want to risk it. Like I said, I'm not going to plant all my milkweed seeds. I will start some just in flats because I'm paranoid that nothing is going to end up growing. Alright, so I'm going to take our pre-moistened potting soil, regular potting soil, not seed starter. Seed starter doesn't have enough oomph for them to grow for as long as we're going to have them in here. It is pre-moistened. You don't want it soaking wet, but you want it wet enough. Yeah. One handful, and we're just going to press it down in there. You can see from the outside where I'm at. You don't want to fill these up all the way because it's just seed starters. You want to think about the little seed starting flats you buy at the store and how much soil they have, kind of go off of that. And especially because this is a native perennial, they're going to get planted out a lot sooner than, say, an annual would or a non-native plant would. They're used to the weather and they grow a certain amount, and that's just that. So you don't have to worry about having to hold off on putting them out because we're cold starting them. They're already going to be used to those dramatic temperatures. We don't have to worry about, you know, oh no, now I have to hurry up and bring them all back in or dig them back out. They don't need that much soil because we're going to be able to transplant them that much sooner versus a regular start. So we've got a good amount in there. I might add just a tiny bit more. Yeah. About half of the bottom. And like I said, regular potting soil. Let me wash my hand. So, red butterfly milkweed, 40 in a pack. I'm going to dump them out over here and count off maybe 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe one more for good luck. 11. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of them in here, and then what I'll do with the rest of these seeds, I will start them in a regular flat, and then I'll probably save 2 or 3 and just put them out in the garden and shove them in the ground and see if they pop up. The seeds I purchase aren't very expensive, and milkweed is really abundant here, so I don't have a concern of, oh no, what if I'm wasting it or blah 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 blah. You know, it's fun to experiment with things like that. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting to see, because if sorry, you're wobbly. If I plant these out in the garden and I say I plant 3 and all 3 of them germinate and grow, and then this is half of them germinate and grow, maybe I'll just seed them in the fall, like how they naturally go as the plant ages. In the fall, it drops its seeds. So now I'm going to take them. Generally, you don't have to sow these very deep. Again, you think of how the native plant drops its seeds. It doesn't like dig a hole for it. It just kind of scatters it. So I'm just gonna plop 2, 3. I do want to space them out a little tiny bit so that they have enough room when they do germinate to grow a little bit without tangling in with each other. And now So here's one. We're just gonna lightly, very lightly cover them up. The point of winter sowing is to use what you have for one. Oh, excuse me. And then this creates a greenhouse effect. So it does get warmer. You put it in a sunny spot, and it's much warmer than what you would normally have this time of year. Let me grab tape. I knew I forgot something. Painter's tape is not the best, but it's what I have, and that's the point, using what you have available to you. So this ends up creating, I'm gonna tape the back over here. This ends up creating a little greenhouse for these seeds we plant, so they, in theory, do sprout a little bit sooner. And then when it's warm enough, above 50 degrees, 40 degrees, whatever it is, depending on the seed, you can pop this lid open and tape it back as long as it's above freezing to acclimate the seedlings that come out of it. So you just pop it off. I know some people that do cut a window in theirs, but then I find you can't use it the next year. If you just pull this top back, it's the same thing, but then your seedlings are stronger because they're used to the actual wind outside, and rain and natural, you know, the way things naturally are. And that's what I like to try to imitate as much as I can. You know, there's sometimes you do have to use an organic pesticide, sometimes you do have to spray this, that, and the other. You know, there are things that sometimes you are plagued with, things that you just have to suck it up and use whatever to ensure that these grow, and that's fine. But I figure within reason, the more native the environment is, outside of obviously creating a little greenhouse here, the better things are going to grow. And that's the whole point behind winter sowing, is that, you know, they're outside, they're getting that frost time that a lot of perennials require. A lot of them need to have that stratification, and sure, you can pop them in the freezer and do whatever, or sit them outside in the garage where it's cold and they'll be fine. Yes, that's a thing you can do, but for me, I'd rather just do this. It's less work. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Every year you find out what worked and what didn't, and you go from there. So now I'm just going to take my Sharpie, red, butterfly weed, milkweed, and I'm going to write today's date on it, 1/30/21. I like to do that to kind of get an eye on things. So they say that they germinate, can't talk, in 14 to 21 days. So when I write down the day that I've planted them, then in 14 to 21 days I can kind of start peeking after, 14 to 21 days after the ground is frozen. I can kind of peek in here, see what's going on, see what it needs. The biggest thing you want to make sure is you're putting it outside in the sun, a sunny area, but also an area that gets water. If you put it too close to your house, the rain might not hit it. That is something that you'll have to supplement with. You'll have to water them then. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But for me, again, the whole point is for it to be as natural as possible within reason. So I'm going to put these outside in a sunny spot. I'm going to let nature take its course, and I will try to remember to update y'all when, probably in April, late March, early April, and I think our new last missed frost date is April 16th. I'm not going to put out any tender annuals before then or right after then. We're zone 6B, so usually most people around here go by Mother's Day rules. The weekend of Mother's Day, you go out and plant everything, but not before then. So this will be different because it's a hardy native perennial. I can plant it out by the new frost date, probably. Again, I will have others started inside in case I do plant these out and we get a crazy hard frost that kills everything. I don't want to have to worry about these. So I always have backups, just the person I am. So I'm going to put these outside. I'll update you guys in March or April. Thank you for watching.